Hey Shiv,
Hey Sharif,
what's going on, buddy?
going pretty good. Enjoying a good weekend, and get things rolling. Yeah.
This week I actually came across one of my clients was looking at a different Salesforce editions, and they were actually so I started doing a little bit of research, and I came across this article about Salesforce, a Mastercard, and the Mastercard Small Business Program. So I thought this would be a great topic for us to talk about Salesforce Essentials, what it means, what are the differences, why would somebody want to get Salesforce. Oh yeah, there you go. You got it right there. So
The
you're,
Googling
you're,
skills.
you're always ready, Shiv. So did you get a chance to read this?
Yeah, I did actually. So it's interesting that you mentioned the small business program. I think a lot of these credit card companies and payment gateway providers are trying to bring in all the different umbrellas of what a small business might require to, kickstart the technology backbone. So yeah, this was interesting in an article. So I have worked with Salesforce Essentials basically in the past, and when it first rolled out, even I was kind of confused, like, what's the difference? And it's particularly marketed towards companies who are probably in the lower price range, who just want to get started and explore it, or just use the CRM function alone without all the bells and whistles that come with professional or the edition subs going up. And looks like from this article, MasterCard, which has a small business program and offers today, I think, the QuickBooks and TurboTax, all that as options for you to get started very quickly. Salesforce Essentials has been added into the mix, which I think is amazing. So CRM is like very important as a business owner for you to keep track and have accountability and traceability on all of the activities that you do with your customers. So I think it's a great move by MasterCard. They pounced on that opportunity, and Salesforce Essentials is really a good Kickstarter for you to start your business. And that's what I thought, maybe we could go down that path and maybe explain the differences between the different editions on Salesforce compared to the Essentials piece, especially, right? So yeah.
Let's do it. Let's bring it up. So, first of all, looking at the price point, right? $25. When I saw that, I said, okay, Salesforce is trying to capture, they're trying to capture that market, right? Because before, starting at $75, a lot of very small businesses that may have like one or two users, 75 may still be a big leap for them. So, $25, I think, is a really good price point, up to 10 users. And then, looking at the different, if we scroll down here, let's take a look at some of the differences here. Yeah, so as you see here at the top, right, we get the, account, contact, lead, so basic CRM functionality, email integration with Gmail and Outlook, out of the box. We have the Salesforce mobile app, and then we start getting into things you don't get.
Yeah, I think with compared to the professional edition, I think most of the heavy lifting side are removed. Like if you look at the scoring as well as the automation piece, that's probably the one thing that's taken away from the Essentials, because it's bare bones, and I think it's a strategy industry wide. Even if you look at the iPhones, you see that there are lower price point iPhones, so that the barrier to entry to get a customer into the brand reduces drastically, and that's very visible here too. Compared to the base price initially, if you wanted Salesforce in your organization, you'd have to start with $75 a month, compared to 25, which is way more accessible. So of course, you assuming the kind of business that you do, which is more of let's track and let's keep the data in place. That's what I think Essentials is aiming towards, where you don't have the lead registration or rule-based scoring that you want to do, or collaborative forecasting, workflow and approval engine, which is removed, and obviously the 24/7 support which is the Premier support is not available here as well. We could go down a little bit more deeper to go. I think a lot of the very basic functionalities are always available. One thing I wanted to call out is when you look at Salesforce Essentials, there's two, which is the Sales Cloud Essentials and the Service Cloud Essentials. So we're right now looking at the Sales Cloud one, which you have a lot of the functionalities that you need to kickstart. So you have all the email templates, campaign, mass email, web to lead, all that's baked in, ready to go. What you don't have is the option for the scoring or lead registration, which is more on the community side. Because initially when I looked at it too, Sharif, I thought that lead registration was web to lead. And I was like, oh, if I don't have web to lead on my CRM, basically that, doesn't qualify. But looks like web to lead is definitely there. But the community piece is what the partner registration, which is the community piece, is what is not available. And also the campaign influence scores are not available, but you have the basic campaign management. That's definitely there. Right?
Yeah. So, it looks like you get all of the basic functionality, but a lot of the things like forecasting, campaign influence, things that when you become, a mature business that you actually start looking into when you start growing, which you can always upgrade, when you get to that point.
Absolutely. Yeah. And also, it's very evident in way how it's structured. And Salesforce, as you know, believes in, pay as you grow kind of thing, which is why it's subscription, as well as, the structure of how this edition is priced. And technically supported also says here, like, you don't expect to have a massive sales team with high volumes, and that's why the console app's not available, or sales teams are not available, or person accounts are not available, which is usually for high transaction customers. But you do
I wouldn't mind if they removed person accounts from all of these.
Yeah, possibly. But yeah, you also don't have the forecasting, as you said, opportunity splits, the finer granular details of opportunity management that you need to go to is not available in the Essentials. And I'm comparing it to the Professional. If you look at, opportunity splits, etc., which is more how you structure commissions, etc., that's more on the enterprise side as well. But yeah, also what Essentials lacks is the order management, price books, products, quotes. That is completely separate. But also one of the things I didn't see here, and Sharif, I think we talked about this, is the custom objects, right? Which the Essentials don't support. So it's going to be interesting to see how the yappexchange apps would work, because I know yappexchange apps are supported. Maybe that is like how the Professional Edition has a little bit of leeway on how you could use the APIs through yappexchange apps. Maybe that's what Salesforce Essentials also looks at. But you have your case management and all the other straightforward things that you need to manage your application or the CRM.
So Shiv, can you scroll back up a little bit? I saw advanced reporting features is not available. I just want to, let's see, what does that say for that one?
It's more on joined reports,
okay.
The bucketing, the history tracking, formulas, and all that kind of stuff. I think formulas are available, but you don't get the joined reports that you might need to compare across multiple data. And using Essentials, there are already a lot of reports that are available to you out of the box, which would be a good kickstart to using the CRM right out of the gate. So I think, I think it's a very, very good, proposition, and a lot of people might definitely use it. And also, one thing that I like that they kept for Essentials, which they could have removed, they kept the same amount of process and flows that you could use from the Professional Edition also for the Essentials. So not completely locked off of automation. You do get to use up to 5 processes and 5 flows per org, which if you are smart enough to work your way around it, I think it's plenty.
I think it's a bit misleading here. They should probably move this to the top, possibly, because in the beginning it tells you that workflow and approvals aren't automation. aren't available, and then you come down here and you see you have 5. So I think this is
Exactly.
this could actually make somebody decide to buy it. So
Exactly.
they need
So
to.
being very technical about it, so they actually use 2 different engines in the back end. So if you remember long back, the visual flow was there. It
Yeah,
has its own engine. That is what the process builder and the flow use. So that's a completely different framework compared to our traditional workflow engine, where you
sure.
can have updates. So probably that engine is turned off, but the flow engine is on, and they limit it to 5 processes, which I
Yep.
think is good. But yeah, I'm right. I'm agreeing with you. Salesforce, if you're listening, make sure put this up top so people know.
No, there
what
is some automation.
Yes, put an asterisk next to it. But yeah, I think this is perfect. Some of the things you would miss out is on the roles and permissions. Again, sticking to the theme that it needs to be a flat organization, a jump start to what you need to use. You don't have a developer sandbox. You have to do everything in production. That's pretty much out of the gate. But the thing that I love is that it still integrates with Outlook. It still has the Google Apps integration, which is awesome. The thing that you would miss out compared to professional over here in the Salesforce info is that you wouldn't be able to relay your exchange directly into Salesforce, which is what Lightning Sync is all about. So Microsoft Exchange is something that you would not connect to via Salesforce Essentials, but you still can do Outlook integration or Google Apps integration directly. And yeah, web services API is out of the question also. So that's at the sales side. Very similar in the service side, but I think there's a little bit of nuances here. If you compare to professional, you don't have service contracts and entitlements. Again, those are for companies that traditionally have a lot more value in the contract or very specific terms in how they engage with the customers. So for the essentials, you don't get to manage that with the contracts and entitlements over here, but you do have CTI, which is amazing. I like that, that was not taken out. CTI is still there. And, you get pretty much very similar similar items compared to professional, like the case auto assignment, which is amazing, great auto response, all the productivity stuff you definitely get. I think you, as a smaller business, might not need case milestone tracker because assuming again the volume is lower. But yeah, orders management, contracts, entitlements, and advanced case management, which again goes into grouping and routing. Basically, is taken out. The complex routing is basically taken out. But again, this piece is pretty interesting. And I think, Sharif, you were talking to me earlier about this as well. Compared to professional, this is a leg up. You have limited availability of Live Agent and the Facebook Messenger, which is amazing for small businesses, right? So,
Yep.
Which is interesting on how they basically looked at structuring essentials and gives a lot more clarity. Rest of everything is very similar to how the Sales Cloud side is basically built up. You don't have advanced reporting. All the opportunity tracking, everything that's mentioned in the Sales Cloud is also mentioned here. One thing I do want to call out is the offline access. In your Salesforce mobile app, if you were using Enterprise and comparing it to Enterprise, you wouldn't be able to save a record when there's no internet access. In Enterprise, you could do that. So in Essentials, you lose that out as well. But overall, I think it's a very, very good offering. It's great for a lot of businesses to use this enterprise-grade, innovative product that is Salesforce, which is Sales Cloud and Service Cloud. So yeah, I think it's a good start. And if as a small business owner myself, I'm very excited to see that Salesforce is offering to the larger crowd out there, which is it's a good move.
Yeah, and I think the bottom line is if you're trying to do, if you're a startup, you have your sales, you're trying to manage leads, opportunities, conversion,
Mhm.
that kind of stuff, and a basic support for your customers. This is a great offer, a great value proposition. I think once you start growing and you have more complexity in your business, you'll definitely have to upgrade. But I think this could be a great contender for the smaller CRMs out there. You could get all the great underlying functionality of Salesforce for $25 a month. I don't think you
Absolutely.
can beat that.
Yeah, and one critical thing that I want to point out here, compared to from a contract perspective, if you look at other editions of Salesforce, even though the license price is mentioned monthly, it's always billed annually. But with the Salesforce Essentials, you get to have your contract on a monthly basis, which is a key call out, where you can put it on your credit card on a monthly basis and just go from there. So I think that's also a very good move in how Essentials is being positioned for small businesses.
And could you click on the second box there? What if my business priorities and product needs have changed?
Perfect. Do that. There we go. I think
Yeah. So
more of an
the
upgrade.
the reason I want to look at this is I seem to remember just from some experience that possibly, and we'd have to check on this. Maybe Shiv, but
Mhm.
Essentials may not be upgradable. You may actually have to move your data if you need to go up
Um,
to professional.
No, actually, I did that with a customer recently, where she was using Salesforce Essentials, and we migrated her to Enterprise. So they did upgrade her to,
So they upgraded the same instance.
yeah, same instance, no loss in data. It was just another contract that she had to sign, and it was just the org ID was just changed and basically put out. So yeah,
Perfect.
we actually had that concern, but luckily we did come across that with one of our customers, and yeah, it was easy. There's no complexities there.
Great.
Perfect. That's amazing. I think I'm looking forward to more in this release upcoming for what's in store for Essentials. But until then, if you like the video, please subscribe, and we'd be happy to put out more content. Thank you, Sharif.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Shiv.
everybody.